Yo, what's good everybody? I'm your boy Jadiro, and this is my Death Pen build for Rogue. Let's get right into it. First things first, let's talk about the aspects. And the main aspect we're playing around today is the Trick Shot aspect. And we're going to put the Trick Shot aspect on our gloves. And what that does to our core ability, Penetrating Shot, is it creates like a shotgun hitbox, which hits all enemies around it. And the next aspect I want to talk about here is the Icy Alchemist aspect. This allows our Shadow Imbued skills the chance to freeze or chill our enemies. And it also increases the damage we deal to frozen enemies. And we're putting the Icy Alchemist aspect on our main hand weapon. Next, we're moving over to the Frostbitten aspect. And this aspect we're going to put on our necklace, and it allows us to do increased damage to frozen enemies. Other than that, we're doing the Rapid and Accelerating aspect on our 2 rings. Both of these aspects increase our attack speed, whether it's using basic skills or using our core skills. And lastly, we're going to go the aspect of the Expectant. And we're going to put this on our offhand weapon, and it increases the damage we deal with our core skills. Alright, so that does it for all the offensive aspects. Let's move on to the defensive aspects next. The first defensive aspect is the Resistant of Silence aspect. This aspect increases our resistances when using Concealment. And it also reduces the cooldown of Concealment when murking elite enemies. Next, we're going to the Juggernaut aspect on our chest piece. And this gives us a flat armor increase, and armor reduces the physical damage we take. Followed up by the Umboros aspect on our pants. And the Umboros aspect grants us a free Dark Shroud Shadow when using our marksman abilities. Each Dark Shroud Shadow we have reduces the damage we take. And finally, for our boots, we're taking the aspect of Quickening Fog. This drops a smoke grenade every time we use dash. And it also reduces the cooldown of dash. And I'll also explain how this aspect increases the damage we deal later. Alright guys, that does it for the offensive and defensive aspects. Next, we're going to talk about the only unique we're running for this build, Sky Hunter. And Sky Hunter buffs our key passive, which is Precision, which grants us increased critical strike damage and energy regeneration. Well guys, that does it for all the aspects. Let's move on to the primary and secondary skills next. And guys, before we go over all the primary and secondary skills, I have the whole build over at Mobalystics. So I will include a link to this build in the description and in the comments. So I'll go over all the primary and secondary skills after. As for primary, we're going Puncture, Enhanced Puncture, and then Fundamental Puncture. Now we get energy regeneration and we can make enemies vulnerable. Next, moving down to our core skills, we're going Pen Shot, then we're going Enhanced Pen Shot, and then we're going Improved Pen Shot. And basically, we're just enhancing the damage that Penetration Shot does. And we're dumping a full 5 skill points into Penetration Shot. Next, moving down to our agility skills, we're going Dash, and then Enhanced Dash. Down to our Subterfuge skills, we're going to dump a full 5 into Concealment. Then we're dropping 1 in Smoke Grenade, and 1 in Enhanced Smoke Grenade. Now we have an Unstoppable proc with Concealment, and we have 25% increased damage with our Dash. And that's because every time we do a dash, we drop a Smoke Grenade. Now moving down to the Imbuement skills, we're going Shadow Imbue, Enhanced Shadow Imbue, and then Mixed Shadow Imbue. Now Shadow Imbue will explode every time it murks an enemy, and it'll also do increased damage. Now this is where things get interesting. For our ultimate skills, we're going Death Trap, then we're going Prime Death Trap, and then we're going Supreme Death Trap. Now Death Trap pulls all the enemies towards us and it reduces its own cooldown. And this works really well in synergy with Penetration Shot. I'll show that in a demonstration later. And as for key passives, we're going to take Precision. This allows our marksman skills to grant us stacks. And then after we gain 6 stacks, it guarantees a critical strike for our core ability. And it also deals 50% increased critical strike damage. Nuts. Which is further increased by our critical strike bonus. So basically, it just makes Pen Shot do a whole lot of damage. Alright guys, so that's all the primary skills. We're going to work our way backwards and go over all the secondary skills next. So we're going to dump 1 into Adrenaline Rush for resource management. Then we're going to dump a full 3 into Haste to give us a mixture of movement speed and attack speed. And then we're dumping a full 3 into Imp to make our non-basic skills deal 35% more damage. And then finally, in our ultimate skills category, we're dumping a full 3 into Innervation. This will give us a 30% chance to gain back energy. Now moving up to our imbuement skills category, we're going to dump a full 3 into Frigid Finesse, which increases the damage we deal to frozen or chilled enemies. Moving up to our subterfuge category, we're going to dump a full 3 into Exploit for damage and a full 3 into Malice for damage. Then we're dumping a full 3 into Agile to increase our dodge chance. Then we're dumping a full 3 into Mending Obscurity to give us health regeneration while we're stealth. And what will be giving us that stealth proc is Concealment. Now onto our agility category, we're dumping a full 3 into Weapon Mastery for damage. And finally, moving up to our core skills, we're dumping a full 3 in Sturdy for damage reduction. And then we're dumping 1 into Siphoning Strike for some life on hit. Alright guys, that does it for all the primary and secondary skills. Let's move on to that Rogue Specialization next. Alright, something different here for the Rogue Specialization. We usually go combo points, but today we're going preparation. So basically, for every 100 energy we use, it reduces the cooldown of our ultimate skills. And using our ultimate skill resets the cooldown of our other skills. So how it's going to work is every time we use Death Trap, we're going to reset the cooldown of Death Trap with Penetration Shot. And every time we use Death Trap, our cooldowns like Concealment and Shadow Imbue will come off a cooldown. But guys, there's a different variation to this build, and I'll show you how to achieve that next. So there's 3 basic steps to change this build from what it is to the sweatier version of the run-of-the-mill build that you're going to see online. And the first thing you're going to need is this dagger I can't pronounce for the life of me. This increases the damage you deal with your core abilities, and it also synergizes very well with combo points. The second step is for the specializations, you're going to want to go combo points. And last but not least, you're going to want to take the 3 points out of Death Trap. And where you're going to reinvest those skill points are Shadow Step, Enhanced Shadow Step, and then Methodical Shadow Step. Now that's the most popular variation of the penetrating shot build. However, the version I'm giving you today is a little bit more accessible as you only need Sky Hunter. But guys, that does it for the specialization and the variation of this build. Let's go to that Paragon board next. Now guys, I've finally done it. I've completed the Paragon board. I'm going to go over all the rare glyphs, rare nodes, and legendary nodes you're going to want to take. On your first board, you're going to want Canny. This is just to simply increase the damage you deal. As for the rare nodes, go Resilience, go Prime, and go Skillful. Resilience and Prime will increase your maximum life and the damage you deal, and Skillful will increase the damage you deal and give you 10 dexterity. The second board you want is Exploit Weakness. And on this board, you will be getting the Exploit Weakness legendary node, which increases the damage you deal to vulnerable enemies. And as for the rare nodes, guys, I grabbed anything that gives me maximum life or increased my damage. And the rare glyph we're taking on this board is Exploit. This will increase the damage you deal to vulnerable enemies. And on to our third board here, guys, we're going Tricks of the Trade. And Tricks of the Trade will increase our damage when we use our Marksman and Cutthroat abilities in tandem. And the Marksman abilities we have are Puncture and Penetration Shot, and the Cutthroat ability we have is Dash. Again, guys, as for the rare nodes, we're going anything that increases our maximum life or anything that increases our damage. And for the rare glyph, we're going Closer to give us damage reduction. As for your fourth board, we're going the Eldritch Bounty board. Eldritch Bounty increases the damage we deal with the imbued skill that we have, but it also increases the resistance we have to that imbued skill. And we're simply only going this board for Eldritch Bounty. As for the fifth board, we're going Cheap Shot. And this will increase the damage we deal to crowd-controlled enemies. And the rare glyph that we're going on this board is Chip. And this increases the damage our enemies take. And guys, as for the last or sixth board, you can go any board you want. I literally just took this build so I can put one more rare glyph in its socket. And that rare glyph is Turf, which gives us damage reduction. Alright guys, well that does it for the Paragon board. I tried to explain it as best as I could. If there's a better format, or if you know a better way to explain it, just let me know down in the comments. But let's move on and go to the gems and the Seneschal next. Alright, so as for gems and the armor, we're going pure rubies to increase our maximum life. And as for weapons, we're going to go pure emeralds to increase the damage we deal to vulnerable enemies. And as for the necklace and rings, guys, just put the gem in the slot according to the resistance that you need the most help with. Try to remember that resistances cap out at 70%. But quite simply, that's all the gems. Let's move on to that Seneschal next. Alright guys, as for the Seneschal, for the Governing Stones, we're going Tempest and Flash of Adrenaline. Tempest allows our Seneschal to do damage, and Adrenaline gives us a damage buff. And as for the Tuning Stones for Tempest, we're going Frigid Support, Arcing Support, and Swift Support. Frigid Support will help freeze our enemies, Arcing Support will help us hit multiple enemies, and Swift Support will increase the attack speed of Tempest to give us more procs. As for the Adrenaline Governing Stone, we're going to go Duration Support, Tactical Support, and then we're going to go Safeguard Support. So Duration Support will do exactly what it says. It'll increase the duration of Flash of Adrenaline. Tac Support will reduce the cooldown of Flash of Adrenaline. And Safeguard Support will give us damage reduction. Alright guys, well that does it for the Seneschal. I think we should limit test and do a high tier vault run next. Alright guys, here we are in the vault. Let's get started. You gotta be very quick with the rogue. You can't really sit and stop and think about stuff too quick. You gotta kind of just stick and move. I don't know what happens to all my potions. Is potion breakers on? I didn't even look at the affix, to be honest. Wow, I almost died there, but I just got that proc. So I'm gonna get them into this choke here and just kind of spam my stuff, and hopefully that death pulse, I can dodge enough of those before I... There we go. Drop our death trap. Pull them all together. Pen shot goes off. Dope. That's basically what we're gonna do. Spam Puncture and pen shot. Dodge when necessary. Don't get caught in chokes like that. And then we disengage if we need to with Concealment. Just keep microing backwards as you shoot. Should work out pretty good. And then you can use Death Trap for the big, like, boom. See that? Cluster them together. Works really well with pen shot. And guys, this is the budget version of like the sweaty build where you go the dagger with combo points. This is the budget version of it if you can only get your hands on Sky Hunter. Let's keep going here. Some really close calls, so I think that dodge chance is really helping out here. Really close calls. Trying to make this work. Here we go, here we go. Keep going here. Wow, crowded room. So this is where like that trap really comes handy. Oh wow, no potions. I gotta be careful. I gotta keep jumping here, else we are dead. Oh no. Oh, I got away with. Wait, my concealment's up here. Get my health back. I can't get hit by nothing. Can I do it? We'll see. Concealment. Concealment. Ah, health regeneration back. Holy, that was close. That was close. Did you guys see that? No potions, no joke. Oh no. I'll keep moving here, guys. There we go. Boom. Okay. That was like a highlight reel right there. Boom. Very squishy still. Still trying to min-max my fixes here. But here we go. We're in the room. Now this is a real test. It doesn't matter how much I escape there. It's being able to survive this is a real test. So I typically stand back here. Fire away. Right? Try and keep my distance. Try and dodge whatever I can tell is coming at me. Because there's so many things on the screen at this point that you just kind of... Ooh. That was a cheeky wall right there. We gotta wait till it falls down here before we can dash out. There we go. Don't want to get caught as a rogue, guys. Just want to stick and move. Like I always say. Ooh, lots of damage happening there. Poison traps on the ground. Man, this game is gnarly sometimes. You just gotta get that boss here. He does a lot of damage though because it's fire. Fire and poison do the most damage in this game, I swear. Gotta dodge it. Here we go. Good opportunity to pop our concealment there. Give us a little more damage. Don't want to be caught out in the middle there like that. That was a bad move, guys. Don't go in the middle like that. Unless you're like a tank, like a barbarian. And you can just charge your way out. I'm not ready yet. Other than that, you gotta be played very cagey in these moments. All we really gotta do is get this guy here. So I'm gonna pop my concealment and my trap. Woo. He can't stay there too close. He's almost done though. I see him. Boom, we got him. Concealment, safety. Boom, tier 79. We did it, guys. Let's clean up the room now. Boom. Done and done. Perfect. And my favorite part of these runs. Boom, loot found. Dick. Alright guys, that was the breathtaking tier 79 vault run. Let's move on to that build summary next. Alright guys, so as for abilities, we're going Puncture, then Pen Shot, then Dash, then Concealment, Shadow Imbue, and finally Death Trap. As for all the aspects, you guys can go back to the video where I'll chapter it there for you. As for Rogue Specialization, we're going Preparation. As for gems, armor is all reds, weapons are all green, and then your necklaces and rings just go the resistance you need help with the most. As for the Seneschal guys, we're going Tempest and we're going Flash of Adrenaline as our main Governing Stones. And guys, finally for the Paragon Board, I'll chapter it for you in this video. You can go back and check it out there. And I'll also include a link to my Mobalystics build planner. Alright guys, well that does it for me. I'm going to go back to making some more off-meta rogue builds. I hope you enjoyed. And guys, don't worry about liking and subscribing. If you enjoyed today's video or brought you any kind of value, that's all I could ask for. However, feel free to let me know if there's any way I can improve my build guides or if you enjoyed today's video. But that does it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm your boy Jadiro, signing out for now. Peace.